Hey everyone, welcome to Exploring Art with Miss Prado. Thank you all for watching this video. This week's artists are two local artists from Portland. The first one, his name is Bryce Wong. The second one, her name is Nishat Akhtar. Both of them are very different in what they do and what they draw like, but both of them seem to be into this idea of things changing, things morphing. This project is called Shape Shifter. And what we're going to be doing is drawing one object and making that one object change. And I'm so excited to show you guys how I did it. And I want to show you lots of really great examples as well. Let's get started. So we start with some squares. I'm going to pick my color here first. I choose like a yellow. And there is a button on the top bar that has a square and a circle. I'm going to pick square. After I draw one square, I'm going to duplicate that layer 3 more times, over and over. So now I have 4 squares that I'm just going to be moving around to make it to that grid. You can draw this freehand if you wish. I decided to do it with Perfect Squares on Sketchbook app. Now that I have my 4 squares, I've finished my grid and I'm ready to move on to the next step. After the grid is finished, we have to start drawing our chosen object. So I found this photo of an old chair, and that's what I wanted to draw in morph. So I placed the photo, I lightened the opacity a little bit, and then I began to trace over that chair. I decided to use a primary pencil because I like the texture that it gave me. So now I'm finishing up tracing the chair. Great. Now I'm finished with my first drawing, my first square. The next step is to try to add a new layer. Right now I'm going to try to show you that by pointing an arrow to that plus sign. Click that plus sign. It will give you a new layer, and that's what you want to draw on. So now that I'm on this new layer, I'm going to try to draw the chair changing slightly. I'm going to basically draw right on top of the chair already. I'm going to lower the opacity to make it a little lighter. Once again, still on that new layer, but now I'm going to draw the chair changing. Right, so right now I'm just tracing over my original drawing, but making it a little wavy, a little different, a little strange. Kind of like it's melting or like turning into slime. I still want it to be recognizable as a chair, kind of, but not too similar. I want the change to be visible. So now that I'm finished, I just move it to box number 2. Now I've added a new layer. Once again, I've lowered the opacity on the second box, and I'm going to do the same thing again, but now I'm going to change it even more. This will be my third drawing. Great. And there's my third drawing. I'm going to move it to the third box. Now the last drawing, drawing number 4, I'm going to lower the opacity on the third box. I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to do the same process one more time. Now for the fourth one, I want it to be quite a change. So you see, I'm not tracing perfectly along my old drawing. I'm creating something different. I didn't really like that drawing, so I erased it and I tried to do it one more time. I want it to look more like melted goop. So here I am trying to redraw it. Perfect. I think this one is the one I'm really happy with. And I move that to my fourth box. Now I've completed all 4 drawings. I'm happy with all 4 of them. I'm turning the opacity back on all the squares. And there we have it. There's my objects changing. Now that you finish your drawing, it's time to add some color. I'm going to color it blue. So now I'm going to just fill in my drawing here in blue. Remember what we did last project, always making sure the color is beneath your drawing when we're thinking about our layers. So what I did was change the blue slightly in each drawing, just a little bit. So then I can see not only with the drawing that the things are changing slowly, but with the color as well. I think that maybe changing from dark blue to a lighter blue also helps visualize the morph, the shape shifting that's happening here in our drawing. Oop. See me here trying to fill in this with the filler paint can at the top, but it keeps filling my whole page. So I have to change it to just coloring it in with a pen, which is fine. And then the last box. Great. Then there I have all the base colors. Now I'm going to try to add a little bit of detail just to make it pop a little bit. I think these little pops of white help turn it more into goop or more visible, like some type of thing that's melting. It's not really difficult to add a small little detail like this. I know you're all capable. There we go. All right. And now I feel pretty happy with what it's looking like. I'm going to say this is completed and finished. Now I'm going to save it to my photo library and turn it into Schoology now that it's completed. I hope you guys have fun.